I didn't know it until I watched the documentary, but it is an illegal tax that was passed in 1913.
And by the way, the man that made that was a friend of mine, Aaron Russo. I put him on the cover of the Free American when he was running for governor of Nevada. And he made From Freedom to Fascism. Before that, he made Mad as Hell and Ain't Gonna Take It No More. And he's the one that blew the whistle on Nicholas Rockefeller's family's plan to chip everyone in the world so you can have your banking on that little chip in your hand. I mean, my God, they told us about it 2,000 years ago. And Unreal Fart on the chat room says, "But Clay, it must be true. I saw it on TV."
Well, we just canceled our satellite service because it's crap TV. And I used to watch CNN a lot. I got so sick of their Hollywood news and just lies, and they were not telling the truth about a lot of things, so I said, forget it, I had enough. I'm going to go to the internet for my source of news and information, and I'm a better person for it. I feel like I'm learning a lot more about what's really going on in the world, where before I was just kind of receiving whatever they decided to dish out to me. But not anymore. Not anymore. I'm accountable. And I'm responsible, and I'm going to find the truth, and I'm going to be a part of the solution to some of the world's problems. And I challenge other people out there to do the same thing.
We have to
Liberty Village. If it takes a Liberty Village, I'm all for it. I think that's a wonderful idea, and I would be happy to be a part of that.
Well, the way I'm going to see this, hang on a second. The way I see this, you got your land. You got your land here. Now, your land is the size of an average farmer ranch. Anywhere in Texas, down, especially in the south. But north is fine too. I'm just a Harley rider, so I kind of tend for the warmer weather. But
hey, I like bikers. I love the bikers. I did a whole documentary about bikers in our area. I'm fascinated by the whole biker culture. So I love it. I'd love to have bikers out here. I love the stories. In fact, the name of my documentary was Biker Stories, and it won an award in Italy and Mumbai, India. So, hey, bikers are cool with me.
My first club went to the Banditos. My second club went to the Hells Angels. So I've been hanging around a long time. Matter of fact, I was in the same jail with Mother Dawn Chambers from the Banditos. So.
Well, I don't know about the Banditos, because I've heard that I don't know, they're kind of the outlaw group, so I don't know about them. I haven't done a whole lot of research in that, but
well, the reason, let me tell you why they made these. I went up to a group of riders wearing a blue patch on their back. Blue Knights. The Blue Knights. Do you know who they are?
Who?
Well, they're all police. They're all police. And I went up to them. I was publishing biker magazines. I've been doing that for almost 20 years. Guys, why is your organization a club and you refer to the Hells Angels as a gang? Why is that? Well, we don't do anything illegal. I said, that's interesting. I'm an investigative reporter, and I do more stories on crooks that are cops, lawyers, and politicians than I do stories of crooks who are bikers or gangsters. And that's really the way it is. The government and the press has demonized bikers. Hollywood has demonized the bikers. And I don't know that side of them other than, we'd sit around and smoke a joint, and that's about the only thing we ever did that was illegal. We didn't rob, we didn't steal, we didn't do nothing. We smoked a joint. That's it. And that needs to be turned around too, and that's what Liberty Villages would do. Now, it's already happening in some states. California, you could have your crop, could be hemp or marijuana. Not really any difference except in quality. But
Well,
we can make 10,000 products out of hemp if we restored the agriculture. If we just took America back to where it was back in the Depression 50 years ago, we would 30% of Americans lived and worked on farms and ranches. We produced our own food. We were self-sufficient. We were independent. And then the Federal Reserve came in and started paying people not to do this and trying to tell people what they can do on their land.
right, and they were controlling the prices, you know, and then Monsanto was controlling all the seeds. So there's a big flag going up right there. Monsanto will not let farmers keep their own seeds. And that's a very dangerous thing, because that means that they're going to control the food supply. And there's a lot less farmers around today than there were back then. And it's just a small handful of farmers that are actually producing the food. So if one company controls all the seeds, and that's worldwide, we're in big trouble. Better be growing your own food, because if you have to depend on Monsanto, who's suing honest farmers out there who are just trying to make a living and grow some good crops, and they're trying to sue them because their Roundup Ready seeds have cross-pollinated with an honest farmer who's trying to just produce some good food, and that farmer gets sued for that. That's such
basically you're talking about a Monsanto employee that could be walking by a farmer's field, throw a handful of seeds over there, and come back and take his land later. Kind of like they did Donald Scott. They accused him of having some marijuana on his land over there on Catalina Island, and then took his land, killed him over it.
Good gosh, I believe it. I mean, this is something else I did not know until I watched documentaries on Netflix, man. That just opened up my eyes. You know, when I watched King Corn, and I watched Food Inc. and Food Matters, and The Real Dirt on Farmer John, and Dirt the Movie, and all these great documentaries. And they're told by people who are trying to say, hey, look, people, wake up. Look what's happening. Look what's happening to our food supply. Look at this one corporation who's trying to get a hold on all the seeds worldwide. They're going into Mexico and Central and South America, and they're trying to force these farmers to use their Roundup Ready products and to make them give up their seeds so that they use Monsanto seeds.
Lisa, rats will not eat this Monsanto's genetically modified corn.
Oh, I believe it. It's tainted. Why would we want to put tainted, poisoned food into our bodies, into our cows, pigs, chickens? I mean, they're feeding that corn to all these animals, and we're not only getting it through our vegetables, but we're getting it through our meat source too. That's scary. That scares me. I don't want their genetically modified, pesticide-ridden food. I don't want them. That's why I'm growing my own food.
And, add to that the other weapons of mass destruction that they've loosed on the American people. It's called vaccinations. Vaccinations are listed.
I've got 4 boys, ages 14 to 26, and none of them have ever had any kind of vaccinations. Praise God, hallelujah, because I decided 26 years ago that I would not have anybody inject any toxins, half-live or half-dead viruses into my children's bodies. It's a toxic process. It is not needed. They are fine, healthy young men, and I'm just so glad I made that decision 26 years ago that I would never vaccinate my children, and they never have been.
That's wonderful. It's amazing that you had that much knowledge back then. Now, with the advent of the computer, we've got access to a lot more knowledge than we ever had, and they're scared to death of it. That's why they're passing bills to try to close down the computer. And the only thing I would, you said something about satellites. If we put up a satellite for computers, then that pretty much sets us free. That's the only thing I don't think I don't know if I'd even want TV broadcast in there. It's such a chance to, if people can come out to a Liberty Village, and you got a restaurant that people are working together to fix good food using the food that you've grown right there. then people can come from the city and say, this is what living is supposed to be like. This is what life is supposed to be like. See those kids over there? The old folks are playing with the kids and enjoying them. The kids keep the old folks young. The old folks give the children a knowledge. This is what, and this is the extended family. It's the old system of how our government used to work, called a ton. You know, you got 10 families that run one section, you know, and those 10 families get together and form a county, you know, with 10 other families around there. You work in cooperation. You work in competition. Let's see who can grow the best food. Let's see who can be the most productive. Who's got the best deal on solar or wind generators? You know, how about that?
For wind generators, my husband is a heating air contractor, and we're going to be using some squirrel cages, or the fan, the blower fan that's inside the air conditioner. We've got a couple of those saved up to build us a windmill. So I just thought that was a really cool way to recycle an old air conditioner that's been taken out of use for take that squirrel cage or that blower fan that's on the inside of it and make a windmill out of it.
You could take two 50-gallon barrels, cut them in half, and weld them onto a wheel with an axle, and boom, you got a generator. You take a couple of old alternators off, and you could make it out of that. I mean, it can be done a lot smoother than that. But a little black man in a village in Africa decided he wanted TV, and so he built him a wind generator.
Well, did he make it? I heard about a story like that he made it out of a bicycle wheel.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, it can be done. You know, it can be done, and it's fun doing the research for windmills and aquaponics and EARTHBAG homes, and it's just really a fun learning process too. And I feel like I've learned so much in the past year doing research on the internet and watching documentaries that my life is. I mean, I feel like I have such a good direction right now, and then I'm able to help other people that want to do the same. And we've got a lot of views on our YouTube videos showing people how to make an EARTHBAG home. And I really do. I want to help other people, and I want to show them that there's another way to live, that you don't have to be a slave to the banking system. You don't have to be, you don't have to eat whatever somebody just hands to you, and you can be more proactive and more intelligent than that, and go out and make a peaceful, safe, healthy place to live if you want it. But you know what I found out, though? There's a lot of people that don't want it bad enough. They say, oh, that's just too much work, and they want to depend on whatever the government gives to them. And I'm not like that. I want to be more self-sufficient and rely more on my own strength than to just rely on whatever the government thinks that I ought to have. So I really hope that more people, I hope people that will hear this message will say, wait a minute, how am I living? How's my quality of life? How can I improve that? What am I doing that can be changed?
Well, I'll tell you what you can do. You know, it's you've got property. You would like it to pay for your overhead, right?
Yeah, land payment it's costly.
Yes. So let's if people wanted to come over, could you set a spot up where they could build their own home the way according to your instructions? So at least it's got some continuity, and you know, and you've got oversight on what's going on your land.
I could be a consultant. I could be a helper to someone that wants to do the same that we're doing, to be self-sufficient and live in an EARTHBAG home. Yeah, I'd like for the other houses around here to be the same. So yeah, most definitely I could. And I know there's a lot of people out there in need, but you know, it's going to take some effort. Building a house like this,
it will. And you know, this is what we did 100 years ago. My whole promo for Liberty Villages, which I've had for about 8 years now, and frankly, I used to think that they tried to kill me because I exposed building number 7. The more I think about it, I think they tried to kill me because I had centerfolds for Liberty Villages with cabins right in the middle of the Free American magazine. You know, I raised over $250,000 to buy a town in New Mexico called Playas. And then the governor came on TV and said, well, we've decided we need to buy Playas. And so they overbid me by $3 million and bought it for $6 million and started blowing it up as a Homeland Security training camp. So I came up with the idea for Liberty Villages. And the Liberty Villages concept, this, you know, you got all these farmers out there and ranchers out there. And I drive through Texas, man, and I see this ranch after ranch after ranch, farm after farm after farm, just fallow. There's nobody living there, nobody working it, nobody doing anything, because it ain't a corporate farm.
Well, farmers need to know that there's an alternative. You know, the monocrops, the single crops, that's not the way to farm anymore. I mean, they're still doing it, of course, because we got to feed the masses somehow. But the smart farmers out there are saying, wait a minute, we can do biodiversity on this farm, and we can grow all kinds of vegetables, and then we don't need pesticides. There's a lot of different things that you can do in order to make a successful farm these days. And if the farmers would just get online and start doing the research, they can see that will happen. And yeah, that's another thing.
If we work with the veterans, and we worked, with, somebody's out of a job, man. Here, come over here and live. And we'll feed you and give you shelter in return for some work. That's all.
I like the idea. I like that idea. When we've got the land, if somebody want to come out to Garfield, Arkansas, just look me up, man. Look me up for the Majors Bag home, and you'll find us. We're really close to Beaver Lake. It's a beautiful area, and there's most of the land that we have, it's wooded, which is beautiful. You know, it's a little more secluded. It's not cleared off. We've cleared off a little bit of the area for our garden. But it's a beautiful, beautiful area. It's nice to take walks out here. My husband shot a deer last November, and we've been eating on that for months. And it's a beautiful place. It's peaceful out here.
Save the antlers for me. I lost a button off my boot. And every time I lose a button, I got to kill another deer to get another button. So.
Uh-oh.
But
well, that's good eating.
Let me go back to this thing now. I said I think Liberty Villages was a reason that there was an attempt on my life. You know, could be just because I rub every elitist out there the wrong way. But what did you have this plan for being self-sufficient and these EARTHBAG homes when you went in to stand up for your sister? Now, was your sister arrested for spearmint tea?
She was actually arrested for trespassing after her car broke down, and she went and knocked on the door, and then, she was just looking around, looked for a way to start her car again, and I guess the people didn't hear her knock, but she was initially arrested for trespassing. And it was just a misunderstanding, and she allowed the policeman to search her car because she didn't have anything in there that was illegal, and they found the spearmint tea, and they called it a controlled substance. Well, I was outraged by that because I gave her the spearmint tea. It grows wild on my land, and I was so excited that I found fresh spearmint tea on my land. And I just gave it to a lot of friends and family because I'm like, look, spearmint tea, and it's medicinal, and it can cure a stomach ache or a headache, and I gave it to a lot of friends and family, including her. So I felt responsible, and I drove 2.5 hours to Greenwood, Arkansas, and this judge just did not like me asking questions and why it took 4 months to analyze it. So I got a little bold, and I pulled out a bag for him, and I told him to sniff it or taste of it, and he just didn't like that, and he told me to be quiet. And when I said, all right, that's the one word that, he had the policeman grab me and handcuff me, and they threw me in jail. I was in a holding tank for 12 hours, and I don't know if anybody's ever been in a holding tank before, but it's wall-to-wall concrete. It's cold. I was dressed out, I was booked out, I was just treated like a criminal, and I just felt that it was totally unfair what they did to me, and I took it as an opportunity to talk with the jailers and talk with the inmates. So I think I had a message, I had a purpose there. So I mean, I'm kind of glad I went, because I had a chance to talk with people about how corrupt our government is and how a lot of things need to be changed, and just looked at it that way, try to be positive about it. But it was unfair. It was very unfair what they did to me, and I see that the police nation and the New World Order is in action. I mean, people, they're like robots. Those jailers are like robots, and it was just really sad to see that.
They're just there to process people.
Kind of like victims that allowed it to happen. So
we
they're
have
scared. They didn't. I didn't have any problem about talking about marijuana and hemp, because that's not what I was thrown in jail for. But I wanted to educate people while I was in there. And it was just one day, and I was supposed to spend 2 days. But for some reason, I got out a day early. I don't think that they liked me talking to everybody about the things I was talking about. But, it was an experience. It was a new life experience. So I just want to look at it in a positive sense, but just as a warning, too, to other people, that be careful what you say and do, because they'll come and get you.
See, why is, that's the intimidation. That's the fear that they use to control populations, to keep free thought, to keep free expression. It's what we've always, it's like Benjamin Franklin said as he walked out, "What form of government have you wrought for us, Mr. Franklin?" "A constitutional republic, ma'am, if you can keep it." And that's what we have to do. And the way you are living, the way you are, what you and your husband are doing, building this home, you have just become a role model for the rest of America. Because we need the farmers, we need the independents, the pharmaceutical companies and the Monsantos out there, the Roundup, the poisons they're feeding you. You don't have to worry about, rat poison. We've already put it in. We built it into your food, so you don't have to worry about the rats eating you. Come on, guys. I mean, that's basically what they're doing. And you have provided an answer.
I hope so. And I want to see more people out here doing this. I kind of feel like I'm all by myself sometimes. I'm out here on this 40 acres, and I'm out here filling bags sometimes by myself and making adobe while my husband's working, and he comes home and we fill some bags. And our weekends are pretty much dedicated to filling bags and stacking them up. And again, we're about 8 feet high, so we're really hoping to finish this summer. But I want to see someone over there on that little hill over there doing the same thing, man. That would just make me so happy to know that I've got like-minded people out here that are tired of sick and tired of what the government's doing. They're taking away our rights. The banks are sucking up money that doesn't belong to them, and we could be a part of the solution. And I truly hope that other people will hear this message and they will come out and do the same, or they will do it wherever they live and just be a part of the solution.
That's it. If you're not part of the solution, then you become part of the problem. Exactly. And this is a way, by working as a village, this is something we can promote, not in right-wing, conservative, Republican circles, but, the whole idea of liberal and conservative, to me, is merely another method of divide and conquer. If we can keep these people fighting with each other, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, I'm a liberal, I'm a conservative. Come on, guys, you put your pants on the same way, you wipe your ass the same way, you eat the same foods, your children are going to grow up together. Work together to get off this little circle jerk the bankers have got us on.
Right.
And you were doing it. You were doing it. So, I think that I deal enough with people's problems. Donna Taylor, she's going through a lot. I'm working on a story about her. Her son was shot at Columbine, and he's still being victimized. He's still being put into nursing homes, our mental institutions. Because why? The government's running up a $1 million hospital bill, that's going to come out of your pockets, for somebody who was with his mother for 10 years. We got to stop that. But on the other hand, these are the problems that we have to deal with on an individual basis. But if we work together to form these villages, to grow our own food, to provide our own power, those kind of problems start fading to the wayside.
Right, because then we become self-sufficient and we don't need anything else. That's what we're doing for ourselves. So
that's it.
Be a part of the solution. That's it. It's very simple. Very simple.
Well, you are part of that, and I'll be talking with you more as we put this together.
Well, I appreciate Clay. Appreciate you letting me be on your show today, and I'll be letting all my friends know about it, and
it's the website. You will be featured.
Village, man. Liberty Village, and free for all.
your property, and your general location will be put up on the libertyvillages.org website. Now, I've been thinking about this. I've been working on this for 8 years. The distributors are out there. The people are out there to provide this. There's companies out there that will provide all the solar for the whole village if we cut the right kind of deal. And we can also make our the people there. You need something to do. You need a job. Well, make these generators. Make these wind generators. Make these windmills. Carve this. Do that. Do something. We've got a market for it, and we can reach out across America and do this. Lisa, it's been great meeting you. It's been great having you on. I called you to do your story on spearmint tea, but there's so much more here. You are doing so much. My hat's off to you and your husband. You've got the right idea. You've done the right thing, and I want to back you any way I can.
Well, thank you, Clay, and just keep being a voice to the wilderness out there. We'll be listening for you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear. Bye-bye.
All right. God bless. Bye-bye.
Call recording has been completed.